Welcome to the Garage Door Heroes podcast. I am your host, Robb Leishman, founder of Legit 5 Garage Door Marketing, and this is the place where garage door dealers become true heroes in their markets and businesses. In each episode, I bring you proven strategies, insider stories, and conversations with industry leaders to help you grow your company, lead your team with confidence, and create the freedom you've been looking for. Because in this business, it's not just about fixing doors, it's about building lives, families, and legacies. Let's get started. All right, Garage Door Heroes, thank you so much for joining us today. Today is a little bit of a unique situation, right? We love doing these podcasts. It looks like we're up to episode 24 now. Feels like there's a lot more, but really exciting day. So what happened is this week we were having a special guest, one of our clients was going to be on with us, and they had a family, they had a death in the family. Anyway, so he had to pass. Tanner and I have come together. We're going to talk about a concept that is a massive, massive challenge, somewhat of a plague for the garage door industry. And we can thank Google for it, but it's another one of those Google has put our industry in a special category, and there's a lot of hoops to jump through. There's a lot of nuance to it. But today we are going to discuss advanced verification so that you can take full advantage of the marketing platform that is Google. So there is probably nobody anywhere that has more experience than Tanner at advanced verifications and any verification with regards to Google and our garage door accounts. So Tanner and I came together this week and decided we're going to do this podcast, and we're going to do it ourselves. Tanner is going to be my special guest on the Garage Door Heroes podcast today. Thank you for joining us, Tanner.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
But we are going to break down, and we are going to get nitty gritty. We are going to get nuts and bolts into advanced verification so that you can market, so you can get leads and calls from Google. So a couple things. Like I mentioned, I don't think anybody has more experience than Tanner. Tanner does this every single day. We do this for all of our clients, but we've even got people that call us and say, I just need help with my verifications, my GBP or my advanced verifications. And so we're doing this a lot. Tanner's going to show you our process, and it's going to get step by step. It's going to get kind of a little bit heavy, a little bit techie. Bear with us. We're going to provide all the steps that you need. You're going to want to save this one so that you can come back to it, take it a step at a time. Anyway, all right, thanks again for joining us, guys. We're looking forward to this. We love laying it all out on the table and letting everybody see what we've got. Go ahead, Tanner.
Awesome. Well, thanks. Thanks for that awesome introduction. Like I said, or like Rob said, we're going to get deep. We're going to go through step by step. It's going to get dry at some time, at some point in time during this podcast. Bear with me. Every step, everything we're talking about here is very important. And there is a lot to go through. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we can dive right in here. All right. Okay. Can we all see my screen okay?
Yep, I can. Everybody else?
All right.
All right.
Awesome. So this is Google Advanced Verification for Garage Door Companies with me, Tanner Leishman. Like Rob said, I do this for all of our clients. I do this for a lot of people that just reach out and go, hey, I'm in a bit of a pickle with Google and I just need some help. I do this every day. I've done it a lot. So I've got a lot of experience with this, and I'm excited to share you guys our success formula for getting advanced verified. So let's dive right in here. Before we begin, if you didn't see my last episode on Google Business Profile Compliance first, I would recommend you go back and watch that. Everything in that is like a prerequisite to this episode. You're going to want to make sure that your Google Business Profile is completely set up and compliant and set up properly before you dive into this advanced verification process. So GBP compliance is step one. Then come back here. Once everything there's in order, come back and do this with us. Our track record, just a little bit of who we are and why we have the authority to talk on this. I've had 0 final failures across all of my clients, all of the applications that I've done. The reason that is because we do it the right way. There's no tricks. There's no workarounds. We do the process exactly as Google wants. and has intended. And that's why we get past. We take it slow and steady. Rob says this to everybody when it comes to Google. Slow is fast and fast is slow.
Slow is fast, fast is slow. There's no speed there's no speed track to working with Google, right? We're always going to be on their timeline.
Exactly. So rushing the process is how people fail. So let's take it slow. Let's do it right. Let's make sure we get it all right before we go. Our clean record is your confidence. 0 final failures. You can trust what we're doing here. We know it works. We do this with people every single day. Awesome. So just a real quick note before we dive in here. This is not a hack or a workaround. This is what we teach. Compliance, white hat strategies, the Google approved way. The reason that advanced verification even exists in the first place is to help avoid scammers. And so the right way to do this is to make sure you don't look like a scammer to Google. And I'm assuming everybody watching this wants to do things the right way. So everything we're teaching you is just the way Google wants to see it. So try and go through it as closely as you possibly can to what we're teaching here. So this is the Google approved process. This is built for longevity. This is transparent and honest. And this is a repeatable system. I've done this with numerous clients. And so we know it works. Just follow the way we do it. I'm telling you, this is the safest and most sure way to get past the advanced verification. So big note, I would recommend you only do this if you have a physical location. Do not do this if you're a service area business. That's why I say go back and watch my last episode first. We go through a lot of the details of compliance with a physical location. There's a lot of benefits and pros to having a physical location with a visible address on Google Business Profile. So I recommend you do that first before trying to apply for advanced verification. It's not recommended to do this as a service area business or an SAB. You just have a higher chance of rejection. And most of what Google is looking for here is going to be checked off through that physical location process. And I think, honestly, the benefits that you get from having a physical location should come first. It benefits you more to go through that process before getting approved to run Google Ads. So that is our process. So really important distinction, and there is a lot of confusion on this. So Rob, stop me if this is not making sense or if you want to clarify anything, okay? Google Advanced Verification is split into 2 categories, okay? The first one is Google Local Services Ads. Google Guaranteed, if you've heard of that. We always shorten it to LSA. We recommend you start here, okay? Now, the processes, the 2 separate categories here are the same application, and you're going to need to provide the same evidence, but you have to do it twice, okay? So the first one is Google LSA. The second one is Google PPC. If you get advanced verified for LSA, great. That's a huge step forward, but that does not mean you can immediately go into advertising on Google pay-per-click. Those are 2 separate platforms. And like I said, the application is the same. The evidence that you provide is the same, but you have to go through the process twice. Does that make sense?
It does. And I'll just take it even a step further. We hear this all the time. People think that when they've gone through the process one time that they are advanced verified. They just aren't, they didn't move the needle to Google PPC. Think of it like you have to be advanced verified twice. You'll do the same procedure twice. So to say you're advanced verified, that could be only be telling half the story. So just kind of be mindful of that. Being advanced verified doesn't mean you're free to market on both platforms.
Absolutely. And the reason that we like to go LSA first and then PPC is LSA can generate calls pretty quickly. It's cheaper, right? It's a pay per lead model and it's a little bit cheaper. You really only pay for good quality leads on LSA. If somebody calls in and is like, hey, I'd like to do your SEO, you get refunded for that call. So we love LSA. It's also very simple. PPC, there's a lot to go into. It's really complicated and it's not recommended that the business owner does it themselves. LSA, the business owner can set it up, add pictures, manage it themselves. So we always recommend start with Google LSA, then move to PPC. And I'm going to go through the both processes here, how to get to them and what the application looks like. So just bear with me. My recommendation from experience is get LSA passed first, then move to PPC, do them one at a time, and don't jump to PPC until LSA is fully approved. It's a lower risk profile. We do it sequential for a reason. It's just layered. Just do it that way. It's going to work the best. LSA generates calls fast, and we do this one thing at a time. Like we said, slow is fast, fast is slow. Let's just do it the right way. Make sure we're going through everything with a fine-tooth comb before jumping the gun on going to the next step. So let's just cover a little bit of what we're going to talk about today on this call. We're going to go through what LSA account setup looks like. We're going to go through what the LSA advanced verification application looks like. We're going to go through the PPC advanced verification application. We're actually going to walk through exactly what Google is going to ask you for, so you can go to the application ready with all of your evidence to have it be the quickest and smoothest process possible. So before we continue, I recommend you watch this entire video before taking any action. Okay. I don't want you to watch this as a step-by-step. And as I tell you how to create your LSA account, you go ahead and create that LSA account. You need to make sure that you are aware of everything that we talk about in this video before you create your LSA account or before you create your PPC account. I recommend watch this whole thing. Once we get to the part with the application where I explain all the evidence you're going to need, gather all of that evidence, make sure you got everything, then go through and follow the steps in this video. That's just going to give you the best chance for success. Okay, so let's talk about creating your LSA account. If you haven't created an LSA account already, you're going to go to ads.google.com/local services. And then this is what you should see if you don't have any other Google Ads accounts already in your Google account here. So you're going to go ahead and select new local services ads account. You're going to see the screen that says earn your badge of trust, just kind of an explanation of what Google Guaranteed is and what LSA is. You'll just hit continue. It's going to check for eligibility. So with the eligibility, you are just going to put in your state and zip code. And then job category is Garage Door Pro. And then it'll tell you that you're eligible. I don't think there are any cities or areas or states in the US at least that are not approved to run LSA for garage doors, but that's just what you're going to do. Okay, so that's gets through welcome, sign up. Third step here is create your profile. It's going to ask for business details. Now, I know it's a little bit small here, but right here, business name, business registration name. So the business name needs to be the exact same name that displays on your Google business profile. It needs to just display the exact same. It should be, you'd be best just copying it from your business profile and pasting it in here to ensure that there are no errors. Business registration name. If you are operating under a DBA, then this would just be your LLC or your main business name. And then your business name could be your DBA, but you'll want to make sure if it's different that you do have that DBA registered. Business phone, again, just do the same one that you have on your Google business profile, and then your website. I know it says optional. Make sure you do provide that. Okay, email, text message, those can stay checked. Owner's first and last name. It will not be shown to customers. So you're going to put your owner's first name, owner's last name, total number of field workers. Very important thing here. Part of the local services ads account creation process is everybody has to take a background check. So this is field workers. This is a technician that would go to somebody's house. So if you have 5 technicians and only 4 of them can pass a background check, just put 4 and make sure that when you get an LSA call that you don't send that one technician that can't pass a background check to their house. This is Google's way, right? The reason that LSA is called Google Guaranteed is because Google is guaranteeing that this is a solid business to give to the searcher, right? So if somebody searches garage door repair near me and selects one of those Google Guaranteed companies, Google is saying we guarantee that this is a good, valid company. And so that's why they make everybody take a background check. So just bear in mind, field workers means technicians that would go to somebody's house. So don't put your office staff in there. They don't have to do the background check. And only put in the number of people that can pass a background check. I highly recommend you ask your guys before you send them this background check if they can pass, because you don't want them to fail and have it be a huge regret. So as uncomfortable as the conversation can be, go to each of the guys, ask if they can pass a background check. That's the number of people that you will put in here for field workers. Year founded, obviously just the year founded. Street address. This also needs to match exactly your Google business profile. Now, if you guys did, like I said, go through that last video of Google business profile compliance, you should understand this, and all of your documentation and evidence should be ready with this address on it. So hopefully you guys have done that properly. You should all be good. Is this a location that customers can visit, like a store or an office? Go ahead and select yes. Like I said, you're going through the process that I recommend here that we get success with, because you do not want to get final failed. So assuming that you have a valid, verifiable business address on Google, you're going to go ahead and select yes. Okay. Next thing here, billing in. So this is once you created your account, you're going to come up to the business checks here. In the menu, it's going to be called business validation. And you just need to go through each of these boxes here and check them and make sure that they're checked off. So billing information, you're going to add your credit card. Insurance details, you're going to upload your current, it needs to be current, valid liability insurance with your company name on it. Make sure that it's got the company name on it or it won't pass. Google business profile, assuming you've done this right up to this point and you've got the name right and the address right, and you're creating this LSA account under the same Google account that you manage your business profile from, it should just connect automatically in a quick matter of time. Obviously, as you can see from this example, this person did not set it up right, and it became a huge pain to do it wrong or to have to connect it manually afterwards. So I would just recommend just copy the details straight from your business profile so there's zero room for error. Bidding and budget, just go ahead and set a budget in there. Whatever you'd like is fine to start. Garage Door Pro license. So this is going to depend on your state. You already set up this account under your state. So when you click on this, they will give you a list of the licenses that could be required by your state or could be acquired as a garage door company. And so you'll just select which one of those you have and upload it there. And it needs to be valid and it needs to be current. So if the license is not required in any way by your state, then they won't ask for it, right? So you can just go in there, select the type of license that you have, and upload it there. And then background check, really important. There's going to be a background check for the owner. You'll click on this. It's going to take you a website called Evident, and you're just going to put in your email as the business owner, and then each of your field workers that has to complete a background check. Really important. Let everybody know that the email is coming. Let them know it's coming from Evident. This can be such a holdup. If everybody's ready for it, it should take them maybe 10 minutes to do the background check. If I'm not wrong, the last time I did it, it was you receive the email, you click on the email, you set up you don't even have to set up an account. You basically will just put in your information and then take a picture of your ID and submit some other personal details to do the background check. Takes, I don't know, a week to get that passed. So that is the whole thing. One important note, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, you have to follow this. If you cannot pass a background check, you do not get to run local service ads. And that is unfortunate and it's tough, but you will find yourself in deep water without ever being able to do this if you set up this account and go ahead and put all of your information there and you cannot pass a background check. So
what should they do if that's a possibility?
Yeah. So if you cannot pass a background check, my recommendation would be to find somebody that you can put as a business partner on the company. It could be a spouse. It could be just anybody that could be considered a business owner, like considered an owner that can pass a background check and make sure that all the business documentation shows under their name. So that when they can run the background check and you don't have to. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so.
So as you can see here, once you've completed all the checks, your account should look like this. It will say, hold tight. Google is verifying your information. Advanced verification is still in progress. Check your inbox for an email from verification-appointments@google.com or advanced-verification@google.com and complete the last steps. Okay. Please keep a close eye on your email for either of those. Check it every day. Check it a couple times a day, because once you've passed all these checks, that email comes within the next couple of days, and you don't want to miss it, because that email that you get is the actual advanced verification application. So your next steps, once you've got to that point on LSA, wait for Google to send you an email from either of those emails that I mentioned. This will be the application. This email usually arrives within 24 to 48 hours. We are going to go through what that application looks like. So wait till the end of this call. or this wait to the end of this episode where we're going through everything. Get all of that ready before you actually get to this point. You're going to want to have all of that evidence, all of the pictures, all of the documentation ready and verified before you actually go and set up your LSA account, because you don't want to get to where they send you the application and you don't have anything and you're scrambling for weeks to try and get all that evidence and they close your application. So make sure you have everything ready beforehand. Okay, so that's the LSA account set up. Now we're going to go through that. Basically, that's the whole process up to where you get to the application. Now we're going to go through the PPC account setup up to the application, and then we'll go over the application. So quick tips for Google pay-per-click advanced verification. You will need to create and publish a PPC campaign in the account before applying. If you apply and there is not a published campaign in the account, they'll reach out and say, hey, we can't move on with the process here because there is not an ad in the account already. I recommend that you use a different customer ID than your LSA customer ID. So the customer ID is the number, like the ad account number. So when you created your LSA account, like we showed in the beginning, you'll get one. To create a different customer ID, you're just going to go to ads.google.com and create a new ad account. That way you could keep your LSA account and your PPC account separate. It just helps avoid confusion in the future. I recommend for that first campaign that you need to create, I recommend you create a search campaign with your website as the landing page. Set the budget at $5. This is very important. You want to set a very small, like a minimal budget, because if you get passed, the ads will automatically turn on and start spending money. And you don't want that to be a surprise. I have also seen a company applied and failed. Years later in the future, they had changed their company name, and that Google Ads account was no longer something that was even on their radar. And for whatever reason, Google let it start spending again. And it went through I think it was $3,000 to $5,000 before they noticed, and there was nothing we could do, and Google would not even give them a refund. So I highly recommend just set the budget at $5 so that if it just starts on its own, you're not surprised by the amount of money that it's spending. And yeah, like I said, make a search campaign. I think that's just the best way. Search campaign with your main website as the landing page. This is going to sound a little confusing, so I'm going to ask Rob for some clarification here. Part of what gets verified is your domain. So that's why I say just send it to your main website. So xyzgaragedoors.com. So if you apply for advanced verification and the landing page that you're using uses a subdomain, so like go.abcgaragedoors.com or ads.abcgaragedoors.com, that subdomain is part of what's getting approved. So if you do use a subdomain like go, right, that will have to be consistent on your ads for the rest of your existence. And that's fine. I think that's okay. It's just something to be aware of. It's not even always the case, but in most cases where we're just trying not to give Google any reason to have any questions or raise any red flags to Google, I recommend just put your website in there. Or if you're going to use a subdomain, make sure that all of the ads for the rest of your advertising career in that account use that same subdomain. Does that make sense?
I think so. Keep the difference between a domain, that would be your website, and a subdomain would have your website in it, but a little bit of a one-off, like go dot or app dot. And so it's tied to your domain, regular domain, but it is a subdomain.
Yeah.
Many times this is what's used by marketing companies or someone that's setting this up for you, because you can create a page very specifically designed for the ad, right? Not just sending them to your generic website, but if you design a page specific to the ad, that would be a landing page. And so you're going to want to include all the domains and subdomains associated with your ad account.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. So then now let's talk about this. You've passed LSA and you're ready to move on to the PPC application. Okay. So you've gone through the whole application process for LSA. You got the email saying, congrats, you've passed, and you're ready to move on to PPC. So you go in, you create your account like I explained earlier. You create that ad search campaign with your main website there. Set it to the $5 a day. And then you're going to go to support.google.com/ads/contact/AV_request_form. I know it's long. You can just search for it, but that's the website you're going to go to. And it is going to look like this. Advanced verification request. Please select a request type. You're going to select apply for advanced verification. Okay. Then down here it says select a Google Ads customer ID. You're going to go through, you're going to click on that and select the customer ID that you created. So not your LSA one, assuming you created a new customer ID, you're going to select that one. Okay. Then under that, it's going to say business type. You're going to select garage door service. It does also ask for the country of service. Once you hit USA, then it's going to open up the rest of these questions. So business model, direct service provider or aggregator/lead generator. I'm assuming none of you guys are aggregators or lead generators. You're all garage door businesses that provide the service to your customers. So select direct service provider. If you select aggregator/lead generator, you will not pass. Google does not want to give any lead generators this power to advertise there. So just select direct service provider. That's what you are. Business name, business street address, city, state. Pretty self-explanatory. Just go through each of those. Zip code. Down there, business phone number, business owner's name, owner's email, business website. Okay. Primary license type. Locksmith, contractor license, other license type, or no license not required in my service area. Just select what applies there. Now keep in mind, Google knows. If you click no license not required in my service area, and you are in a state that requires a contractor's license to do garage door service, they will know and they will deny you. So just do it the right way. Make sure you understand what's required in your state before you go in and do this. What is your position or role in the business? Owner, manager, employee, or marketing agency? I personally am a marketing agency, and I do not recommend submitting this application as a marketing agency. When I do this with my clients, we go through the whole process and gather all the evidence. And when the time comes to set this up, I do a screen share Zoom call with the clients, have remote control, and we go through and set this up in the business owner's email. So I recommend to anybody trying to do this themselves, if you are a manager or an employee, I just recommend you sit down with the owner of the company and set this up from their account. That's just going to give you the best chance of success in this whole application process. Okay. How many storefronts or retail spaces where customers can visit does this business operate? If you are doing this according to my suggestions, which I hope you all are, and you did set up your business profile correctly, this should be one, at least one, right? 0, mobile-only business, you're going to have a really hard time passing. I don't recommend it. I recommend go get your physical location set up first, and then you can go ahead and select one, okay? Next, please upload a copy of your state-issued business registration document. Pretty self-explanatory. Go ahead and upload that there. If you are operating under a DBA, down here it says, please upload a copy of your fictitious name registration documents. So that is your DBA, also your assumed name, if that's what they call it in your state. So if you are a company operating under a DBA, you need to upload your business registration documents and your DBA documentation, okay? Optional, is there any additional documentation you would like to provide that would be helpful for our teams to review? I do recommend you upload something here. You should have utility bills. You should have plenty of other helpful document. Lease agreements are helpful as well. I highly recommend that whatever documentation here you provide, I recommend that has the full business name. And if that includes an LLC, or sorry, if that includes a DBA, make sure that it includes both the LLC name and the DBA. Also, it has to have the correct address on it. So don't submit one. Like if you just got a utility bill from your home in the business name, it's going to have the home address on there, and that is going to complicate this much more. So make sure that whatever documentation you're providing has the business address that we're applying for and the full business name on there. But I do recommend, even though it's optional, I do recommend that you add additional evidence. We'll touch a little bit more on that later on. So some important notes on this. You only get 3 appeals before you have to wait 6 months and reapply. And that sucks, right?
It's painful.
It's painful. When you go through all of this, you do all of this work, and it's not like it's cheap to get a physical location and have all of this stuff ready, right? You spend a lot of time, you spend a lot of money, you get up to this point, And if you fail after your third appeal, man, then you've got to wait. And that is no fun. So keep in mind, you only get 3 appeals. And I want everybody to listen to this very closely, if you reach out to Google to ask for an update, that counts as an appeal. So use your 3 appeals wisely. Do not reach out to them for an update. Most of the time, they say, once they've received your application, they'll say, this could take 6 to 8 weeks. Don't reach out for an update until the 8-week mark. I would even say wait till the 9-week mark just in case. But I have done that. I have seen where they took longer than 8 weeks, and I reached out and said, hey, we're still waiting for an update on this. And that was fine. We got passed. But I don't recommend you do it until you are confident that we've passed the 8-week mark. This entire process is to prove that you are not a scammer. The whole reason that garage door companies have to do this is because of the number of scammy companies in this industry. So the whole process here is to prove that you're not a scammer. So do not do anything to make Google think that you are not a legitimate business. Don't give them any reason to question the way you do business. Rob, you talk about this a lot with the clients. Do you have anything to add on that?
Yeah. A lot of times we think of ourselves when we're a business owner and we want to keep our information private, right? We're very meticulous about that. And that bleeds into just about everything. This is not the place to pretend that we're not going to give Google the information they're asking for. You don't have to give them bank statements and you don't have to give them tax records. They do ask for that as an option, but what I've seen where people only want to like show the letterhead on an invoice and pull the phone away, or only show like their business card and their liability insurance or contractor license from a distance that you can't really make it out. Google is not interested in that. They are trying to prove that you're not fraudulent. They've got to back up, they've got to protect their own assets. And so everything that we provide for Google, let's give them the minimum and more, right? And let's not look like we're trying to hide something, because even if you're not, but you look like you are, Google will fail you. And we just spent one of your appeals. So just we're not going to, Tanner has a great saying, if you want to play Google's game, then play Google's game. Okay. So, make sure that when you're doing the video or the photos that you're including everything and that nothing is cut off or off to the side of the photo or anything like that. Just do it all.
All right. Yep. Perfect. Very well said. Which does bring us to our next point. When it comes to evidence, the more the merrier. Google will give you what they require, and that's kind of the bare minimum. If you give Google exactly what they ask for, you're giving them the bare minimum. Give them more. When it comes to utility bills, if they ask for 1, give them 2. When it comes to photos, if they ask for 2, give them 5, right? It's not that hard to get abundant evidence, and the more you can provide, the better chance you have of passing. I recommend that you compile all of your documentation into an organized Google Drive folder. And then set the sharing permissions to public so that anybody with the link can view it, and then include that in your application. And I'll show you where that can be at the end once we review the actual application. This is very important, and I want you to listen very closely. Record a video of your physical location and include that in the Google Drive folder. If you did the video verification for your Google business profile, it's going to be about the same. Okay. Start far away, show the street sign. So if your address is on Hallmark Drive, you're going to show the street sign that says Hallmark Drive. You're going to pan over to your business. You're going to show your permanent signage. You're going to walk up to your business. You're going to walk up to the door, show the sign on the door that shows your company name. Reach up, grab the door, show that it's locked, pull out your keys, unlock the door, walk inside, show your you'll want to show your truck. If it's hopefully your branded truck is there in front of the building. You're going to walk inside. You're going to show your showroom if you've got one. You're going to show your desk with the computer on it. You're going to have Service Tighten up. You're going to have Workies up, Jobber, House Call Pro, whatever dispatch software you're using. You're going to have that up on the computer. And you're basically just going to give them a tour just like you did for the Google Business Profile, except for this one, you're going to be recording it and including it in that Google Drive folder. Okay. Important note for iPhone users. I know a lot of people have iPhones. By default, Your phone is set to take photos in the .heic format. This is an iPhone specific format. It's like iPhone and Apple products use this format. Google will not accept it. So they will not work for advanced verification. If you have an iPhone, make sure you do this first. Go to your settings, go to camera, hit formats, and then select most compatible instead of high efficiency. If yours is already set to most compatible, great. You're ready to move forward. But if it's set to high efficiency, then it's just going to take pictures in that HEIC format, and you will not be able to submit that to Google. Or if you're a little bit more tech savvy, you can figure out how to convert those. But I would recommend just go ahead and change it to most compatible right away. All right. We've made it through just the introduction of how you're going to get up to the application point. So at this point, you would have the email from Google saying, here's what we need for advanced verification. So we're going to review this. And this is as recent as this was earlier this month that I received this document. So we're just going to go through each of the details here. Rob, can you see that all right?
Yep.
Okay. Like I said, this is a copy and paste of the exact email that we receive from Google when we get to that application point. So we set up the LSA account, get through all the checks. They send us this email. You go through your PPC account with that advanced verification form that I showed you. Then they send you this email with this exact thing. Like I said, this application is the exact same for both local services ads and for pay-per-click ads. You just have to do it twice. And if you do, you do it quick enough, you shouldn't really have to change anything between them. So I'm going to read through this. This is where it gets a little dry. This is where we're kind of getting into the nitty-gritty, and it can get a little boring. I want you all to stay with me because this is the most important part of this entire episode. This is what you need to know, and these are where the most important details are. Rob, do you have anything to add to this before we dive in?
Nope.
Okay.
Buckle up, guys.
Buckle up. Yep, this is where it gets fun. I'm going to read through this entire thing line by line. So, dear advertiser, thank you for applying for advanced verification. For a limited time, we will be accepting specific verification details by email. Please note that if the submissions do not meet our verification standards, you may be required to go through video verification. In order to ensure that your application is processed as quickly and smoothly as possible, we ask that you please carefully review the instructions, answer all the questions and prompts, and make sure every submitted image is clear, in focus, and unmodified. Important, please also note that individual files should be no larger than 25 megabytes. Failure to follow these guidelines could result in further delays to your application or failure to pass advanced verification. So let's unpack those details there. Nothing too crazy here. We always recommend clean off your lens. If you're taking pictures from your phone, wipe it off with your shirt so that you get the clearest picture possible. When you have them on your computer, you should be able to see, like in the files, you can see the size of each of your pictures or your documents. If any of them are larger than 25 megabytes, upload them to something like Canva and just download them in a smaller size. Now, don't make it so small that it's not like the text in the document or in the pictures is not legible, but you want it to be under 25 megabytes. Because it's just, we've done this before. Anytime a picture is above 25 megabytes, they'll reply and say, hey, we can't view some of your images. So just be very careful on that. Okay. Instructions. This application must be completed by the business owner, manager, or qualified representative. Each answer is mandatory unless stated otherwise. Respond to this email with all of the details and images requested below. Like I said, I do not recommend doing this from an agency email. I don't recommend doing it from a manager's email. I would absolutely recommend, if you're doing this, you have to be doing it from the owner's email. When I do this with my clients, we log in on a Zoom call and do it from their computer, from their account. I just think that's your best path to success. Okay, so these are just some questions. It says, note, please respond directly to this email thread to avoid technical issues. So for this first section, where it's the verification details, I just copied this, hit reply, paste this into my reply, and add my answer. So verification details, 1A, select one. Are you the business owner or business manager? So just delete business manager and then type, I am the business owner. Okay. 1B, please provide all of the following details: your full legal name, The full legal name of the business owner if you are not the owner. So put your name there, right? You just add a colon, add your name. The full legal name of the business owner if you are not the owner, I just type, I am the business owner. The full legal name of your business. If your business is an LLC operating with the DBA, please provide both names. Pretty self-explanatory. The registered business address and or any mailing addresses, if different than your physical business address for which you are applying. Do not complicate this. If you went through the process of doing your GBP correctly, you should have all the documentation under this address. I don't want you submitting any documents here that have your home address on them or another address unless absolutely necessary, at which point you can put both addresses here. But I would recommend if you've got one GBP with the proper documentation like we have laid out in the last episode, then don't submit any documentation with anything besides that address, and you don't need to complicate your life, okay? Select only one business type from the options below. The options are, I only service customers at their locations, service area business. I only have a branded storefront location, storefront only. I service customers at their locations and have a branded storefront, hybrid. I do not provide any services. I operate a website and or call center that recommends local services, aggregator. Okay, if you are following our process, everybody should be setting up hybrid. Everyone should be doing hybrid. So you could just delete the service area business, storefront only, and the aggregator ones, and just leave hybrid. And then you can type, I am a hybrid business. Okay. For locksmiths, please select one type from the options below. I just delete both of those and write, I am not a locksmith, or you could just delete this whole question. Image requests. Okay, this is where things can get a little bit complicated, and I want you all to pay very close attention. This is where you're going to be providing pictures. This is where your clean camera and the right documentation is going to come very handy. So keep in mind, each file should be no larger than 25 megabytes. Okay, first things first, a business invoice. Attach an image of a branded receipt you would provide to a customer. A business address must be visible on the invoice, along with your business name and contact information. If you're a service area business, which none of you should be, you may use a PO box as long as the business address is on the invoice. Not very complicated. I recommend you print out the invoice. I think it works better than submitting a PDF. Print out the invoice, name. It's got your logo, your business name, your address, your contact details, and then you don't have to put a customer's name on there. You could put John Doe, but I do recommend, Spring, $200, whatever you charge. Print that out, put it on a clean table, take a direct top-down picture of the invoice, and use that image. Okay. Business cards, attach 2 images of your business cards, one of the front, one of the back. Pretty simple. Again, lay it on a clean table, take the picture top down. You want everything on the business card to be legible. You want it all to be something people can read by looking at the pictures. So, don't need to dive too deep into business cards. Vehicle registration. Attach an image of your vehicle registration or registration sticker / receipt. Very important. This is very important, okay? This vehicle registration has to have your business address on it, the exact one that we're applying for. If it does not have your business address on it, you need to go to the DMV and have them update it. Sometimes they'll act like they can't do it. They can. If you could do it online, great, but you need to make sure that your business registration document that you are going to submit has the business name and the business address on it. And it needs to have the license plate that displays on there. It needs to be the same car that the same vehicle that they are asking us for pictures of later on this application that we'll get to in a minute. Rob, did you have something you wanted to add there?
No, go right ahead.
Okay, perfect. Please note, only a registration image will be accepted. Your vehicle title is not substitute for registration. Like I said, not the title, not anything else, but the vehicle registration with the correct business name, address, and license plate on it. Because the next step here is the image request for the vehicle. Please submit 5 images of your service vehicle. So it explains it here. The left side of your vehicle, the right side of your vehicle, the rear of the vehicle, and then with the license plate in view, the front of the vehicle, and then kind of like a close-up of the license plate. So I'm going to read the description, and then I'm going to show you some. It says we're going to read this description, then I'll show you a quick example that I put together. So each image should contain the complete vehicle, wheels to roof, with the exception of the license plate image. That license plate image should be just a close-up of the license plate, clearly showing everything on the license plate. So here is an example that I put together so you can see it. Let me share. There we go. Okay. This is an example. You've got some space on the left there. You got some space on the right there. You got the sky above and the road beneath. Okay. Very clearly displaying your brand on your truck. Obviously, the more fleshed out your branding is, the better. But this is exactly what they want. So this is for the one side. The other side should be just the same. Straight on image, not off to an angle, not, down looking up.
Yeah, don't try and do an angle and get the front of the truck and the side in the same shot. They want this straight on, no questions. And one thing I want to throw in there, I don't know if you mentioned, Tanner, the importance of branding on everything you submit to Google. Your brand, your company name and phone number needs to be on everything. So if you don't have a truck, if you don't have a branded truck and you just have a white van or a white pickup, something like this, it's not going to work. Don't go take pictures of your vehicle, because they're going to want to identify the vehicle with your company. So get vinyl stickers, get something on your truck when you're doing this verification. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. So, yep, that is everything you need to know about the vehicle images. Just do it right. There's no if you are parked too close to the building to get a good side image, move the vehicle. Do not complicate this. Just get them exactly what they're asking for. Okay. Next, image request location. Attach images of your business's physical location and a utility bill. The utility bill must be opened and must not be a bank statement or invoice for services other than utilities. A quick distinction to make here. Again, if you've been following my process since the beginning, this should not be a surprise or get the wrong information. The utility bill has to have the correct business address on it, has to have the business name and the DBA name if you have one, has to be within the last 3 months, and it cannot be a service agreement. So you should not be going out and getting a utility bill at this point. You should already have one, because if you go out today and get a utility bill, that first bill is actually a service agreement and is not a utility bill and will not count. Again, if you've been following my process, this should not be a surprise, and you should already have this. So I recommend you just take that utility bill, put it down on the table, take a nice top-down picture of it, straight, clear, clean the camera off, make sure everything on there is visible, because they're going to be looking for your business name and your address, and to make sure that this was within the last 3 months. Okay, so let's go through the images of your storefront. If you don't have a storefront, submit images of the exterior of your location at which your business is registered. P.O. boxes do not count as physical locations, since we require a utility bill. If you're a service area business and use a P.O. box, please submit images of your physical home address in order to verify your location. Again, I don't recommend doing that. None of you should be at this point if you are not operating in a physical location. So, image 1, an image of the exterior of your business location, clearly displaying your physical address number, including suite, office, or apartment number, if applicable. So take a picture, step back, take a picture of the door that shows, suite 51A, and then make sure that the permanent, like the signage is visible, like whatever signage would be visible from the street and on your door. You're going to want to get that picture in there. Image 2 would be a wider image displaying the entire building. Take a few steps back. You're going to want to get the entire building in there. Make sure that the signage that your business has is still visible, and that your suite number on that door is still visible as well. Then the utility bill, a copy of the most recent copy of your utility bill from the last 3 months for the address registered to your business. Bank statements will not be accepted. The following are acceptable utility bills: garbage collection, water, sewage, electricity, gas, internet, and gas. So make sure that you have one of those, and just take a picture of it. That should be more than sufficient. Okay. Image request, tools and equipment. Please submit at least 2 separate images of tools and equipment that you use to complete typical jobs next to your business card and or branded invoice. Okay. It says at least 2. You guys all have plenty of tools. You all have plenty of materials. There's no reason you couldn't get 5, right? If you're going to use a business card, I've seen people just hold the business card in front of the camera like this, and then the tools are behind. I've also seen people just put their business card on top of the tools. Like I would get, 3 or 4 business cards, put them on top of the tools. I've seen people use springs, drums. We highly recommend, if you've got a Surewinder or can get your hands on a Surewinder, that is a very expensive tool that is specific to our industry. And so really helps push this process through, because like they say here, common tools such as power drills, hammers, and similar hand tools do not meet the requirements. So that just wouldn't work. So things like Surewinders are great to have. You can use winding bars. Just keep in mind, anybody can go get a set of winding bars at Home Depot for cheap. So it's not that convincing of evidence. I recommend if you're gonna do winding bars, then make sure you include a bunch of springs that you've got in the office. Make sure you include a whole box of drums and cables, as much evidence as you can. And then, if you're a full service locksmith, you are required to provide a lockpick set and one other tool. Luckily, you are not a full service locksmith. So we will disqualify images of tools or equipment that do not also contain a business card or branded invoice. Very important. All of these images should have it in there. Like I said, if you're going to use the business card, you can set them on there. You can take the picture like this. So hold the business card in front of the camera and then the tools and materials behind it. Invoice, same thing. Either one is fine. Just make sure that the branding is clearly visible on both. And finally, sincerely advanced verification team. So that is the end of the application. You will reply to the email with all of those attached. I recommend that in this email that you reply, at somewhere in there you can say, all of the evidence in this email and additional evidence can be found in this shared Google Drive folder. And then put the link to your Google Drive folder that I recommended you make there. Organize the Google Drive folder, right? You've got just subfolders, vehicle photos, location photos, business documents, and business video, right? And load all of the correct documentation in there. As we mentioned, the more evidence you've got, the merrier, right? If you can get a city registration, a county registration, a state registration, and your federal business registration documents, this is irrefutable evidence. This is what Google loves to see. They love to see there is no way that this person could be a scammer because they provided us with so much evidence. So I don't think I need to dive any more deeper into it. I think we've covered just about anything. Rob, was there anything you wanted to add about this advanced verification process here?
Well, sure, guys. And thanks for sticking with us this long and this far into the process. Look, we're not just talking about Google here. We're not just talking about one more step to make us busy with just our day-to-day stuff. This is talking about making more money with your garage door company. That's what this is. The best lead that you can get, and I mean this genuinely, the best lead that you can get in 2026 is a Google lead. And it doesn't matter if they opt in off of your, if they do a search on their phone and they go to your website and they opt in there, or if they do a search and they see you in the map pack, right? And they opt in or call you from there, or local service ads. This is the very top. This Google guaranteed category is the first thing at the very top of the search page. When someone types in the morning, their spring breaks and they're trying to get to work, trying to get kids to school, and they go to their phone and search garage door repair near me, service near me, whatever, the very top is the local service ads. And when they look at that and they see 2 brands up there, well, their brain's going to just process that. And if they see that same brand down in the PPC, down in the maps, down in the organic, they're going to assume that whatever brand that is the authority. Then they'll take a look at the reviews, et cetera. The whole process is there. But man, there is no substitute for showing up. And if we show up at the top of the search page and just the next step down and in the maps, we are owning and we're dominating that digital real estate. So really, we're talking about, this is a key part of your success if you want inbound calls and leads. And I think all of us do. I don't really talk to anybody anymore that doesn't say, I need more calls, I need more leads. And this is one of the key elements to doing that in 2026. And we hear a lot about AI. We hear a lot about different kinds of AI, and you know what? Google still has 87% of all searches are happening in the Google search bar. So don't sleep on it, and don't dismiss the opportunity to get your advanced verifications done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me on. I'm glad that we were able to talk about this. Sorry, everybody, that went so long, but I did not cover anything in this call that is not absolutely relevant to the advanced verification process. So I hope this helps you guys out a lot. And if you do have any questions, if you're running into some trouble with advanced verification, feel free to reach out. You can find us on Facebook. And you can also just go to our website, legit5.com/contact. And we'd love to help you out.
Right on. So in kind of winding down here, guys, and Tanner, just kind of stay with me for a minute. You probably saw or noticed a lot of details, a lot of minutia, and the minor points in this. And Tanner was getting off. You might have thought, well, Tanner's off into the weeds, or that's not important. I want to tell you why it's important, especially if we're a small company, right? The big dogs, the big players, they have the money. They've been playing the game a long time. And how does a small person compete? Well, a smaller person, a smaller company, business, whatever, competes by paying attention to the details that the big players are ignoring because they don't have time or they don't have interest. And Google knows when you pay attention to the details. This is also why we don't have random suspensions of various accounts, and that when there's an algorithm update that our account gets suspended. We don't have that. And Tanner mentioned our 100% success rate or a 0% final fail rate. We don't have that. And it's because we know that rules, or we know the rule book. We abide by the rules, we play by the rules, and we don't appear in any way like we're trying to hide something or cut corners, whatever. And when you play the same way, you'll have the same kind of result. So the details matter. The details matter, and stick with them. And if you call us for help, we're going to walk you through the same documents and the same details that Tanner just walked you through. So there's no secret sauce, or if there was, we just let it out there. So anyway, thanks again, guys. Some things coming up to talk about before we completely bail out here. Next month in April, IDA Expo 2026 is in Las Vegas. We'd love to see everybody there. We will be there. We have a booth. We actually will be manning 2 booths. We have the Legit 5 marketing booth, but we'll also be representing WASA over at their booth. But we want to see as many of you and shake as many hands as we can. The month after that, in May, is Garage Door Freedom's Vertical Track 2026. That will be, I believe that's in Phoenix, and that would be terrific for anyone wanting to grow and scale and look for ideas on how to grow and scale your garage door company. So yeah, look for those, or reach out to us to get information on those. These are big things in the industry that give us something to get excited about. Anyway, we can bail on that. We'll let you guys go. Thank you again for chiming in and logging in and listening to our podcast and supporting us. Again, if a lot of times a garage door owner, business owner wants to know how this stuff works, wants to know what's out there, wants to stay cutting edge. But at the end of the day, you really need someone that can do it for you, because you can't add one more thing to your schedule of things to handle. And sometimes marketing can be that. We'd love a conversation with you if you're interested. So with that, you guys have a great week. Go out and crush it, and do everything you can to become the best known garage door company in your market. All right. With that, we're out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Garage Door Heroes podcast. I'm your host, Robb Leishman. If you got value today, hit subscribe and share this with another garage door hero you know. This show is brought to you by the Legit 5 Garage Door Marketing Team, helping garage door companies grow and dominate their markets. Until next time, keep growing, keep leading, and keep winning.